My ex took me to court for child support, thinking it'd be easy money until the DNA test flipped everything upside down. My name's Marcus Hill, 38 now. But this all started when I was 30, it was 2015, and I met Alana Rivera at a mutual friend's destination wedding in Miami. I was the groom's college roommate, she was the bride's cousin. I was working as a systems engineer for a large security tech firm, just a few months into a solid six-figure promotion. I'd recently bought a townhouse in Orlando and was elbow-deep restoring a '71 Camaro with my uncle on weekends. Life was balanced, secure, predictable. Then came Alana. She was 28, smart, stunning and quick-witted. She told me she worked in digital strategy for an entertainment brand, which turned out to be code for posting TikToks for a podcast nobody listened to. But I didn't see that then. I just saw someone lively and exciting. We hooked up the last night of the wedding. It was supposed to be a fling, but we kept talking. She lived 2 hours away in Tampa and I found myself driving out every weekend. She was magnetic. She made me feel like I was finally living. A few months later her lease was ending. She mentioned how stressed she was about rent and the cost of commuting. I offered for her to move in. It felt right. It was also my first big mistake. Alana had been raised in a plush bubble. Her father was a criminal defense attorney in Coral Gables, and he bankrolled everything. Private schools, travel, even her adult life, until he cut her off after some argument about accountability. She told me he was controlling. I saw now he was just tired of funding delusion. Still, I believed in her. When she said she wanted to start her own digital branding firm, I encouraged her. She made pitch decks, mood boards, even printed business cards. But there were no clients, no income, only expenses. She borrowed my Amex just until I invoice a few clients. Next thing I knew, I was $3,200 deep in ring lights, camera drones, neon signs and wardrobe investments. When I asked questions she got teary-eyed. "You don't believe in me," she said. "I've never had anyone doubt me more than you just did." I relented again. We got married in 2017, a small beach ceremony. She wanted it in Key West because that's where we first kissed under the stars. Her parents didn't pay for a dime and I emptied almost $20,000 of my savings. I didn't care. I thought she was worth it. On our wedding night my stepfather pulled me aside and asked, "Marcus, please tell me you got a prenup." I smiled and nodded. "Yeah man, my buddy Terrence made me do it." Ironclad. He let out a breath. "Good, because if she's who I think she is, you'll need it." I should have listened closer. After the wedding the mask dropped. She stopped pretending to be invested in our future. Her business became a lifestyle. She turned our guest bedroom into a streaming room. Pink LED lights, a crushed velvet backdrop, new microphones. I was making $135,000 a year. She treated it like $500,000 a year. She quit her part-time bar gig, saying she needed to protect her brand. When I expressed concern about the bills, she snapped. "I don't want to be with someone who limits me. If that's what love looks like to you, control." Maybe I made a mistake. So I backed off again. But things got messier when she got pregnant. She cried when she told me, said it was a sign from the universe. I wasn't ready, but I wasn't walking away. I stepped up. We did the nursery, booked parenting classes, and I even sold my Camaro to free up cash. I was terrified but committed. Our daughter Ellie was born in May 2018. She was beautiful, but something was off. She didn't look like me, not even a little. And yes, I know babies change, but as months passed the doubt grew like mold in my chest. My mom even pulled me aside once and said gently, "She's lovely, but Marcus, are you sure?" I dismissed it. I had to. But the final straw came in late 2019. Alana started disappearing for hours without explanation. She said she was working on a brand partnership, but her socials never showed any new campaigns. One night I found messages on her iPad left open by mistake. Flirty texts with a guy named Anthony, a nightclub owner. She'd been seeing him for months. While I was working overtime she was out networking. When I confronted her she didn't deny it. In fact she laughed, said I was too boring, too corporate. I filed for divorce the next morning. She didn't fight it, but she did come after me for child support. She thought she had me. She thought I'd just keep paying because I always had. But this time I'd had enough. My lawyer requested a DNA test before anything was finalized. She went ballistic, tried to delay the hearing, claimed I was trying to traumatize our daughter, but the judge granted the test. 2 weeks later the results came in. 0.0% probability of paternity. I stared at the paper in stunned silence. My lawyer whispered, "We're done here." Alana's face turned white in court. She tried to say it was a lab error. She even cried, begging me not to abandon Ellie. "I'm still her mother," she screamed in the hallway. "And I'm not her father." I replied coldly, "You made that decision, not me." The judge threw out her claim for support and reminded her of the prenup she had laughed off. She walked in expecting a payday. She walked out with nothing. I moved out of state a few months later. New job, new city. I still think about Ellie sometimes. It's not her fault, but I also know I was never her dad, not by blood, and clearly not by truth. Alana texted me last year on Father's Day. "She still calls you daddy." I left it on read. Some lessons come late, some people never change, and some betrayals free you. It's been 2 years since that courtroom day, since my entire life collapsed and rebuilt itself in the same breath. I live in Denver now, took a lead role at a cybersecurity firm and started hiking again, something I hadn't done since college. There's something about climbing a mountain that mirrors rebuilding your life. Every step is painful, but every step moves you forward. I stayed off social media for a while. I didn't want reminders of Alana's curated boss babe image or posts pretending our marriage never crumbled, but eventually curiosity won. Turns out she tried to play the victim. She posted a crying video claiming she was betrayed by someone who walked away from his responsibilities. She painted me as a deadbeat dad who didn't want to raise a child that wasn't biologically his but was his emotionally. People ate it up, but then quietly the video disappeared. Likely because someone in the comments asked why a court DNA test had ruled me out completely. She's still in Tampa, still chasing her brand. She went from digital strategy to selling candles, then to coaching people on emotional alignment for abundance, whatever that means. And Ellie, I'll admit that's the part that hurt the most. Not because I missed being a father to a child that wasn't mine, but because I had let myself believe in something that never existed. I grieved a lie, but time is funny. It doesn't heal everything, but it does clear the fog. A few months ago I got a letter not from Alana but from her mother. She apologized on behalf of their family, said she'd always known something wasn't right. Enclosed in the envelope was a photo of Ellie, now 5 years old, and a note in crayon that just said thank you. I didn't know what to feel. I stared at that note for hours. Was it guilt tripping? Was it sincere? I couldn't tell, but I never replied because the truth is I gave everything I had to a fantasy, and now I was finally learning to invest in myself. Last month, I met someone, her name's Naomi. She's 35, an architect and refreshingly her own person. We met at a volunteer rebuild event after a tornado hit a small town outside Boulder. We were hammering boards and laughing over how uncoordinated I was with a nail gun. It felt real. No performances, no hidden agendas. She doesn't care about what I drive or how much I earn. When I told her everything about Alana, the fake business, the child support battle, the DNA test, she didn't flinch. She just said, "You survived it. That means you're stronger than you give yourself credit for." For the first time in years I actually believed it. Alana took my money, time and trust. But what she couldn't take, what she never understood, was my ability to start over, to learn, to heal. And the truth is, being betrayed didn't break me. It taught me who I am when everything else is stripped away, and I like that man a hell of a lot more. Some people mistake kindness for weakness. They think because you give you're a fool. But real strength is knowing when to walk away, when to let go, and when to protect your peace. No matter how loud the guilt, the lies, or the false promises become, I don't regret loving, but I do regret staying too long. Now I only give to what gives back.